Thank you very much for coming.
Most welcome. It's great to be here. Very dynamic place.
It's very interesting. Well, you had very interesting presentation, and so my first question is about what main trends do you see in the modern travel industry?
In the travel industry, let's start with today's presentation. You have Google here.
Yeah.
Then I talk about myself is OTA, and then we have Skyscanner. Talk about Skyscanner. At the end of the day, you have also Skyscanner. So what I can see in the travel industry is evolving.
Yeah.
Search engine like Google is trying to be like Meta search. And Meta search is trying to be like an OTA by providing direct booking, facilitated booking with user experience, and also in future might even provide customer service. They're going into also an OTA. So for an OTA, like myself, at Ctrip, we have to constantly evolve and change and improve on our product and services to the customers and to the travelers. So that's some of the examples I mentioned in the conference is some of the innovations that we did in China meant for the Chinese consumers itself. So in a way, the entire travel industry is evolving. There are people who are going at one end to look at the user experience, enhancing the user experience. The other way is actually looking at, for the OTAs, looking at how do we be more cost efficient and how do we address different market segments and also grow in different market segments.
You have a big experience in Chinese market. So what is your, in your opinion, what makes difference of the Chinese market with other markets?
Well, is whatever that I mentioned inside the presentations. Chinese market is unique because of its travelers. The travelers' requirements are very different from the international consumers. Take one example. The Chinese travelers are not afraid of number of choices. So when we recommend in the marketplace to the Chinese traveler, we have a lot of choices for them to choose from. They like choices. But international consumer will be confused if you give them too many choices. So I think the traveler behavior actually detects that's very unique in China compared to international consumers. So besides that, they are very tech savvy, the Chinese travelers. So mobile is actually very important for them. How to create a mobile friendly apps and also the ecosystems for them to use during the travel is also very important for the Chinese consumers. They are so used to, and also language. So the Chinese travelers, yes, they're proficient in Chinese, and nowadays the younger generation will be in English. But when it comes to other languages, they still relies a lot on translators. So having a good translations language in your apps, translator, or maybe like something that Google has, will help the Chinese travelers. But if you look at Chinese travelers, our data roaming in China, if the Chinese traveler uses data roaming, we can't get access to Google. So there's a lot of Chinese translation apps that appear out in the Chinese market to help the Chinese travelers to do translations overseas.
You talked about the marketplace, and as I understand, it's something different, some different business model in the Chinese market, which is used by you also. And so, could you tell me what is the maybe main difference of this business model? And do you think it will be evolve in other parts of the world when OTA will grow to marketplaces like that?
Answer to your last question is yes. I think that is the future of an OTA because an OTA, in order for the long-term survival strategy for an OTA, with margin being squeezed by all the suppliers, is to be a one-stop shop. So one-stop shop, so that we can touch every single point of the traveler needs. Right? To be a one-stop shop, we can't build all this product ourselves. Right? We need the entire ecosystems to be flexible to accept suppliers around the world to put the content and inventory for not just flight, hotel, but also for car rental, for train, for destinations, for restaurants, and so forth. So a marketplace will help an OTA to become a one-stop shop and to be relevant to the travelers, not just about Chinese traveler, but also will become for the international travelers in future.
It's good when you are one big OTA, but if there are many different OTAs, then can they go into your marketplace, or how can this work?
Yes, marketplace is a very fair platform where we treat all suppliers the same. So even if it's an OTA, just like in my presentation, either it's airline, OTA, even B2B agent are welcome to participate in the marketplace itself. If they don't want to create the marketplace themselves, the available marketplace in China they can actually participate in.
Okay. So, what's in your opinion? What is the future of the travel market?
I can only speak for the online sectors.
Yeah, definitely.
Technology is extremely important.
Yeah.
For us to have a marketplace, right? For us to have what I mentioned about engaging the customers at the right time, big data. Big data also require technology to digest and also analyze.
Yes.
So I would say for future of travel industry, especially on online sectors, having the most advanced technology and chasing the technology, having technology age is the most important factor.
Okay, thank you. And what is your opinion about this event?
It's a great event. I think I met a lot of people here, airport, OTAs and airlines. This is my first time here also. Most of them speak English, so I'm surprised I don't have to need to translate.